All right, countdown, countdown, countdown. I love seeing the countdown. I should start that over again. Oh, that's right. We don't do do-overs. We just go what's off the top of the dome. Happy day 55. It's been a long one today. I'm not one to complain. I'm not one to make a fuss, but it's been quite a day. A lot of exertion today. I could have probably used a nap, but I just plowed through and I was like, you know what? I want to get it done now, sooner than later. But you see, every time I go in with that mentality, it takes me as long as I originally thought it was going to take me. But as I mentioned these last few days, when I trust that everything's going to be taken care of, that I'll get out eventually. I'll go make some money out here eventually, and but I really want to take care of myself first. I really demonstrated that last week when I had the sniffles, and I know that's either a part of evolution or seasonal changes. But I was the only one not getting sick around these last 3 weeks. Everybody I had worked with had the sniffles, had some strain of flu, and I was just, drinking my juice. And just being like, well, way to show up at work and continue to pass on your situation. Thank you for showing up, Bob, because you have to. They're in positions where they must show up. They are in positions of constraint. They are under the thumb. So despite how you feel, you better show up. And who am I to say I'm still tottering in that even if I don't show up, my needs will still be met. And okay, I gotta show that I'm willing to put in the effort. If I work harder, then I'll show that I'm really deserving of what I'm asking for. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I share on this channel all the time how miracles have just been showing up. And I haven't strained. I haven't had to clench my cheeks to just, oh, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. When you're fasting, your body forces you, like it forces you to downshift. You're not using as much energy digesting. Now more energy could probably go to healing, recovery, critical thinking, actually thinking outside of your addictions, outside of food, outside of binge eating. You have energy to exert. You just have to tell that energy where to go. Are you gonna tell it where to go because you keep on thinking about, Korean short ribs and a Chinese buffet? If your energy goes there, your focus is gonna go there. Baby girl, you gonna end up there in a second. Those are passing thoughts. And how I know when I've made the decision is even when oh gosh, I had a oh gosh, even when those thoughts pass, I'm quicker and quicker learning to decipher what is my voice and what is just a passing thought. Most of the time, they're not even your thought. You could be partially telepathic and be picking up on everybody else's stuff. You could be picking up on the history of the home you're in, ancestors. You could be picking up the land. You could be picking up on nature. Like our antennas are all tuned so differently. And when you finally give yourself energy outside of digesting your barnyard full of just calm down, calm down. We've all been there. Just utter gorging, just gorging. What are you running from to gorge like that? You know you don't need all that food. What are you actually covering up? Don't tell me you just like to taste. Like for example, I used to talk to a guy. He was actually a recovering alcoholic. Um, he was straight up with. I respected it. He was just straight up with it. He's like, "Yeah, this I've been 7 years sober." Blah blah. Blah. I can respect that. Besides, people just feel the need to confess to me. I'm like, interesting. Okay, wonderful. I've never said that to somebody. I'm like, okay, well, glad to be of the audience. I don't know what it is, but I, I've had many deep conversations in my life, and I'm happy to report that I've been able to keep up with most of them. But this particular guy, like he was courting me, all that, and we were actually considering possibly, maybe, I don't know. He grew on me. He grew on me a little too. Everybody plays a portal in your role. Sometimes you needed to meet them to find out what you're lacking or where your blind spots are. Because the people you bring in are going to be a frequency that you align on. You guys are familiar in some area. Just how I explained yesterday, your narcissistic ex was called in for you and your people-pleasing tendencies, which is a form of manipulation. It's a manipulator attracting a manipulator. Yeah, but it's so stigmatized to talk about that. But I find it so sexy when you take responsibility. Oh, I actually have control over this, over what comes, what I notice, what I can engage with, what type of people are brought into my vicinity. I can have an effect on this. You just can't unsee it. You're either just gonna go all the way to the edge of denial, or you're just gonna be like, well, let's just try this out. Let's see what we can do. I'm telling you, fasting, that's a huge That's a huge shift. That's a huge cleanse. That's a huge clean out of old, decayed, dark, rubbery, energetic, just sinkholes coming out of you. You don't think that's going to affect everything around you, your world around you, the ecosystem around you. And yes, if you start stepping into your full light, just like a porch light in the south, it's going to attract all types of bugs. You have to be grounded in what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to call forth and what you're willing to allow. And being able to communicate that. Can you communicate non-negotiables with yourself? No matter how deep the cravings are, no matter how much your mind is just rationalizing, just and go do it. Just, what are you even doing this for? I see why people who have achieved great things look psychotic from the outside. You're battling with a voice that is just as brilliant as you, that you essentially created. You created this voice. You forgot you created this voice, but you invited this voice in because it helped you in a situation where you were just a bit too overwhelmed in your human. And so you had to call out assistance. You had to put up a job posting because it's just too much. And you didn't quite vet what you were calling in because how would you have known? You're just looking for help. You're looking for help. This is the first time you had to outsource something. You were probably 5, 6, 7 years old. I need to outsource this. Mommy and daddy are fighting. I could feel the energy. My teacher was so rude to me. Oh my gosh, that was a weird moment. I feel violated. All that's been overwhelmed. I just need to make sense of this. That's what your little brain is saying. I need to make sense of this. I need to make sense of this. And depending on our environment, how we at that age we can't rationalize. Our prefrontal cortex hasn't even been quite formed yet. We can't rationalize, oh, they were having a bad day because finances are bad, they're fighting this. No, we're internalizing that like I'm bad. Mommy's always yelling when I come around. Daddy left because I wanted him to be, whatever. And those coping mechanisms, yeah, sometimes they'll get you the college degree, sometimes they'll get you great, you have a channel to put that aggression in sports and creativity, all that, but it's going to resurface until you actually sit with it and understand it. Not constantly replay it and bang your head on the floor like, oh God, what was me? How I should have known better. What state was I in that point? What evolved in me because of that situation, because of that relationship, because of that failure, because of that rejection, because of that betrayal? Where was I betraying myself? But it's easier to It's easier to blame Mammy and Pappy. It's easier to blame that conniving ex-husband of yours. It's easy to just blame that witch of a mother-in-law of yours. It was all her fault. You know, things are only exposed to us to help us. You can only experience it when it's on your frequency, just like the things you notice. Our eyes cannot process every bit of information that's in our world that we pick up every day. So it's forced to have you focus on the most critical parts of the scene. Is that danger? Is that danger? And if you're hyper vigilant and you're neurospicy, you're taking in so much more information. You're so much more sensitive. That makes you great at reading people. That makes you great at picking up on situations, but it also drains you when you don't know how to replenish yourselves. It also makes you kind of manic. It also makes you you can't be around too many people, too many different types of energies for too long. You're just in a bad mood for some reason, not knowing you just absorbed Deborah because she was gossiping to you for the last 2.5 hours and you're just trying to be a good friend and you tend to people please and, you know, well, nobody wants to talk about my problems because I come off that I'm strong and I just gotta listen to everybody else's problems and I'm just absorbing that unconsciously. And now all of a sudden you feel like there's a weight on your shoulders, the strain on your neck. You just got used to carrying stuff that wasn't yours. You got used to protecting your mother. You got used to defending your father. You got used to sticking up for your sister. Who else was going to do it if not you? Nobody else stood up. So I guess it must be you. We can't afford to carry anything extra moving forward. Like even all this, even though it's a system back here, my ecosystem, these are things I use every day, so I want to have access to them. These are my fresh water, my teas, my supplements, my drops, and then like my heating pad, my foam roller, all that stuff right there. But now I'm like, how can we cut that down? I keep on giving the message. You got to be ready to go. Like you got to be ready to move. You got to be ready to shake if you are being called forward. So pack light. You haven't found a place that's your foundation yet. Why do you need all the stuff that you need? And with fasting, you're going to do that inevitably. You become so clear of the things you actually desire to have in your space and what is just honestly clutter. Because you'll just be looking at it for days on days, just looking at it in disgust. And it comes to a point where like, I don't even want to sell it. I just want to get rid of it. I want to give it away. I want to donate it. It just has to get just out of my space. Your spirit's trying to make room for what's trying to come in, what's wanting to come in, the desires you said you have. I say that, there's my intro. And as I mentioned, I went from one group coaching program to the next. My first one was specifically towards having a successful juice fast. And by success, they mean being able to remove mucoid plaque. If you don't recall, mucoid plaque is like a rubbery substance that collects in your colon, your digestive system, and it essentially is like, you remember those little sticky hands you used to get and they used to stick on the window? Imagine that like lining your colon and it carries all the stuff your body can't mm, as efficiently metabolize. All the toxins, all the poisons, all the seed oils, all the processed whatever, them chicken nuggets, okay? All them rotisserie chickens, okay, with all that antibiotics. All right. You eating on that bacon, okay? Deep fried corn dogs. I'm saying this, I'm just as guilty, okay? You become a believer when you actually start seeing it come out. And I made a video about that's day 33. If you're not squeamish, go check it out because it's unreal what's coming out of you. It's unreal. And mind you, I've never had situations with IBS, constipation. I'm a free flowing girly, always been. So I can't imagine what was coming out of people who have regularly digestive issues. Like, people my age have been telling me, like, "Yeah, I struggle with IBS," after I talk about how vulnerable I talk about how vulnerable I am with the fasting. Of course, I have quarter juice always with me, so people are like, "Oh, what's in there?" You know what's in there. Some good, some from the earth. Look at it, it's shiny. Look at your Coca-Cola and look at what I got right here. You know what's in there. That's God in there. We're not judging. We're not getting evangelical, which essentially means you become holier than thou. You think you know the way. You think you have the Christ effect because you fasted for 55 days. You are now qualified to speak on this topic and to show people the way. No, you don't. You can if you want to, but let people naturally be curious. And then you can give a gentle guide. You give them an option. And if they salivate for more, they'll tell you. And if they've had enough information, they'll also tell you that too. Don't get too holier than thou. Anywho, so I went from one coaching group that ended at the 40 days because that was the original time. And I decided I was going to keep on going until the job was done, sweetheart, until I'm running on E, until there's nothing else coming out of me. Sweetheart, 55 days, I'm still producing more than people with IBS. That's crazy. In the group protocol I'm doing now, which happened to line up so perfectly, because I knew I needed a landing pad because I'm still at that point where I have to outsource my decision making because I have been sick for so long, and I'm not even going to say I have distorted my reality for so much that I'm like, oh, okay. I don't mind in this space and time. So many events had to lead me up to this mentality to even be open to, number one, investing, and number two, actively admitting that you need somebody else to make decisions on your behalf as a grown adult for a period of time while you recalibrate, while you can actually, you need to limit your decision making. Once our decisions start getting so distorted, we've broken the lever, we've broken the governor. We're making too many decisions and we're overwhelmed and we're just like, decisions we don't even fucking have to make is what makes it sick. It's, you're thinking about theories that haven't even happened yet. You're making decisions on possibilities. So not only are you making decisions in the present, you're trying to make decisions even from the past and the future. Oh, if I would have done that better, I wouldn't have ended up like this. You're still making decisions off that already happened. Speaking as a witness, not a judge. That that's why you're tired. That's why you rather go to the drive-through. That's why you need something crunchy and salty. You're overwhelmed, you're so frustrated, and you just are like, why? A big part of that is communication. A huge part of that is communication. You know what an even bigger part of that is? Understanding the world's going to function without you. Understanding that it's better to save your breath with all that splashing and flipping and trying to go upstream. How about you just relax? So, number one, you can release. The only way you will be able to release is if you're relaxed. So, sweetheart, you gotta relax. And fasting will force that. You can willingly relax. I would have loved to do that in the first, second week, but I was so still strung out that I'm like, okay, body, you're gonna have to do a manual reset. And so I got that manual reset around like day 15 through day 17, where I'm like, oh, my body's not reacting to stress like it used to anymore. I can't even get it hyped up. I can't even make my chest tight and my lower back tight. And, I still find myself clenching sometimes, but I'm more aware of it. I'm more sensitive of it now. And so I can actively unclench. I can actively, um, Be mindful of, oh, I thought I must have passed that I didn't monitor, and this is making me feel like this because I'm probably going down the rabbit hole and I'm not even conscious of it. Your mind is processing even when you're driving, even when you're playing with your dog. That's a lot of energy. Your brain uses a lot of calories. We want that to focus on actual processing in ways that will solve problems that we're actively going through. Not that may occur. Save your dollar. I was listening to a podcast today and she was like, imagine your time. You have $10 worth of time every day. And of course, the other ones, you would have essentially 24, but we got to take away 8 to 9 for sleep, 1 to 2 for activity. So essentially, you have, let's say you have 10 hours to work. You have $10 for you have $1 for every hour. How would your total look at the end of each day? Where did you spend the most money? Did you spend a couple of dollars on Netflix? Did you spend a couple of dollars, maybe 50 cents on scrolling? It's so imperative to take an inventory of where you're actually at because our brain does this crazy thing of distorting us and thinking we really be working. Like, how do we not have results yet? Take an inventory of how you actually spending your day, where your energy is going, and then you'll see why you have what you have. But most people won't be willing to do that. They want to stay on that far to fall that part of the delusion, the delusion. That's the distorted delusion. That's actual delusion, like psychological delusion. We want the delusion of high spirits and, having the audacity to achieve the desires that actually make our heart beat, make us feel orgasmic, make us feel light, make us feel like, yes, this life is worth it. To experience this, to learn this, to understand this, to connect with this person. Yes, it's worth it. How wonderful. I got to have a class with my group coaching I'm in right now. And you have to take assessments, you have to take it's mainly based on having a, plant-based lifestyle, also incorporating that with your purpose, also incorporating that with how to actually eliminate stress, not manage it, but how to eliminate chronic stress. And this woman speaks like very few people I've ever heard speak. She just connects with me. And I'm like, wow, if somebody told me one day I can actually have an impact on somebody like this woman has on me, it is my duty to show up with this booty. Okay? Put the rocket fuel on it. Aren't you tired of playing small? Aren't you it's just you get to a point where anything is better than what you've lived through. It has to be. It has to be. So are you going to be willing? Are you going to be willing to be uncomfortable for a little longer? You get to a point where you're like, let's just ride till the wheels fall off. Let's just ride. That's when you surrender. That's when you take your hands off the wheel. Don't actually do that if you're driving. And you make space for miracles. You make space for your whatever realms of light that just want to help you. Because you actually believe there's outside forces wanting to help you. Deep down, I don't think we ever really lose that belief. I don't think we ever really lose that fire. Sometimes it'll be as small as a pilot fire. And I just find, I, mind you, I don't want to have to suffer, but I just find that fire just ignites in times of true turmoil, where you really just don't know what's going to happen. You really don't know what's going to happen. But if you really have that belief that it all will work out in your favor, because it all has worked out essentially, and that's with probably a quarter of the mindfulness that you have today. You're really focused on your thoughts. You're really trying to make a change. You're really showing up. You showed up every day for 55 days, knowing how exhausted you are. It's 10 o'clock at night in Idaho. I'm waking up at 5 in the morning. But when I just get here, it's a pleasure. It is a pleasure to be here. It's a responsibility. It's a pleasure. I'm grateful that I can. I'm grateful that I'm able to keep my word. That just does something to your internal audience that nothing outside of you can do. That's you, boo. You showing up for you and the future you. That's respectful. And I love that for you. I love that for you. Day 55. I'm going to leave it at that. I have so many good notes I want to share. But something's just telling me that whatever's flowing through me has to flow through me. I'm getting around some amazing people. I just want to be ready for the opportunities. That's my part. That's my responsibility. When it's time, when you throw me the rock, when you throw me the ball, when they say go, you better be gone. Not, let me sit on this and let me think, let me think, let me think, let me think. Baby, you done enough thinking for a millennia. Let's just tango down this way. Just keep on dancing. I've noticed I've started entering businesses like that. I start entering like with the tango. I don't know where that came from, but it makes other people like, oh, hey, it makes people's day for some reason. Maybe unconsciously, that's me getting ready to walk into new doorways and just be excited. I'm training myself to be excited and not be alarmed, not knowing what's going to be on the other side of that door. I'm already choosing how I'm going in before I even know what's waiting for me on the other side. Bars. All right, honey. I'm gonna let you go there. I don't wanna wait. Roger's going to sleep. He's like, get your butt in the bed, but we still gotta do a nighttime routine, you know? It ain't, it's not just lights out, sweetheart. It's not just lights out. This is a full-time job. And I'm happy to be employed, you know? All right. I love you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful night. Um, Try to ease your mind as you're going to sleep tonight. You know, put your phone on the other side of the room, turn it on airplane mode, like try to limit some EMF. Because we need your brain clear, because I feel like everybody's getting their own divine messages, and allegedly God speaks to us at night. So be great at receiving. Get really good at receiving. Okay? All right. I love you so much. Have a wonderful night, and you know where to find me tomorrow. Nighty night.